Hello students, welcome to the video tutorial for informatics practices of class 12th. Today we'll be discussing the third part of the chapter Python Pandas. So let's begin. So in the previous video tutorials, you have studied about some basic operations on data frames that were related to the statistics. Okay, we have studied about the max function, min function, median, mean, mode. Okay, so that were the statistical functions only, which were related to the statistical values. Okay, now here we have advanced operations on data frame. Now advanced operation data frame basically includes these three operations, that is the pivoting, sorting and aggregation. Okay, so let's see what's pivoting. Pivoting basically is a method or a function by which you can rotate the actual data frame values. Okay, suppose if we are having some data entries in a particular columns and associated rows are there, and if you want to have the interchange of the rows and the columns, this all things are possible because of pivoting. So let's see what basically pivoting is. It rearranges the data from rows and columns by possibly aggregating data from multiple sources in a report form. Okay, so that the data can be viewed in a different perspectives. Different perspective means here that if we want to see the data frame according to this particular index, okay, or we want to see according to some other particular index, so that same data frame if you are having, you can see it from multiple perspectives. Okay, now let's see an example here. We have written this code: import pandas as pd d1 teacher Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet. Periods are there, class is there, section is there. Okay, so what we are basically doing here, that r1 is equals to pd dot data frame d1. That means this dictionary d1 we are going to store inside this data frame. Okay, and when we are passing this d1 in this data frame pd dot data frame d1, then this r1 is going to have this output of the data frame. So let's see, if we are going to print r1, we are going to get something like this. Okay, now what we have done here, we have created this dictionary in the form of a data frame. Already we have discussed in the various video tutorials that how to convert a particular data into a data frame. Okay, so here we have used the dictionary values and converted that dictionary values into the form of data frame. Now let's see, suppose if we are going to write this, print r1 dot pivot index is equals to teacher, columns is equals to class, and values is equals to period. Okay, so we are going to use pivot function here. Okay, now let's see what is the impact of this pivot function. So if we'll print this, we are going to get this output. Okay, what here is done is that now the index is teacher. Okay, so in teacher, what we are having Ashish, Jay, Rajesh, and Vineet. Okay, and for the columns, we have taken the classes. Okay, so the index basically here is the rows. Okay, so for rows we are having Ashish, Jay, Rajesh, and Vineet, and for columns we are having class 9th, class 10th, class 11th, and class 12th. Okay, now just try to refer the same values from the data frame. In the data frame, we were having 20 period for Rajesh for class 9th and section A. Okay. Now here we are not mentioning the section in this pivot. We have removed the section part of this data frame, and rest all the entries are there. Okay. You can see for Rajesh in class 9th we are having 20 periods. Okay. Similarly for Jay in class 10th we are having 21 period in data frame. We can see here also for Jay in class 10th we are having 21 periods. Also, the teacher who is not having period in a particular class has been given NaN, that is not a number. As we have discussed in the earlier video tutorials also, that if any particular value is not there for a particular index or for a particular column, it is replaced by NaN, that is not a number. Okay, so by using pivot here, we have just focused our attention over teacher and the classes and their periods. So there was no need of section for this, and without section we are referring all the data here. Okay. Now let's see if we are going to use print r1 dot pivot index is equals to teacher, columns is equals to section, and values is equals to period. Now here index is given as teacher, columns is section, and values is period. So you have to be very careful with this, that when we are going to give anything in index, it is going to be the rows for you. Okay, and whatever thing you have given in the columns, it is going to be the columns of the data frame. So here if you are going to see the output, you can see again the rows are for the teacher, that is for Ashish, Jay, Rajesh and Vineet, and the columns have been replaced by sections. Okay, earlier the columns were the classes, and now the columns have been replaced with the section. So only two sections were here, A and B. So accordingly two columns have been provided, section A and section B, and again the same data of the data frame has been provided here. So you can see by using pivot we can focus over a particular data in a different perspective. Okay, if we want to see for the teacher and the associated periods we can see, and for the teacher a particular classes how many periods are there we can see. Okay, so you can see the first one which we have printed. Here we are having the teachers list and associated periods in the classes 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, while in the second one we are having the teachers and the associated periods in the section A and B. Okay, now let's move further. Suppose we have a data like this. Okay, earlier we were having only 4 data, now we are having multiple data. Okay, and now for the same entries, that is Rajesh, Jay, Ashish and Vineet, we are having multiple entries. You can see Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet is being repeated. Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet, Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet. Okay, you can see this, and the associated periods have been given, and the classes have been provided: class 9th, class 10th, class 11th and class 12th, and the particular sections have been mentioned. Now suppose if we have to show this whole data according to pivot, let's see what will the output for this. Here we have written D2 is equals to teacher, Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet. Okay, the periods are there, class is there, section is there. Now what we have done here is we have created a dictionary here, and that particular dictionary objects have been passed inside the data frame. The dictionary here is D2, and that D2 has been passed inside the data frame R2. Okay, now R2 is having period or data frame D2, and if we are going to print R2 here, so it is written here D2, you just replace it by using R2. Okay, here will be R2, print R2, and if we are going to print R2, we will have something like this. Okay, now for R2 we can see this whole data frame has been created according to the given table of data. Okay, now let's try to pivot this table. Let's see what is going to happen. See, if we are going to print r2 dot pivot index is equals to class, columns is equals to section, values is equals to period. Now let's see what is going to be the output. We are going to get a value error. Index contains duplicate entries, cannot reshape. Why it is showing so? Because for Rajesh, Ashish and Vineet, we are having the periods associated. Okay, but for class 9th A, we are having 20 periods. For class 9th A, we are having 25 periods, and for class 9th A, we are again having 24 periods. So for class 9th A, we are having 3 entries. Okay, and these 3 entries are the duplicate entries. And how to pivot them now? That is the problem for the pivoting. Okay, so if we are going to have multiple entries for the columns of the data, the pivot fails here. Okay, that is a demerit of the pivot. Okay, because it is not able to judge which values to be taken, because for 9th it is having 3 values. Okay, 20, 25, 24. So which value can be shown here? Okay, that is the problem. So let's see. Yes, that only it has been mentioned that for class 9 section A we are having multiple values of period. Now for sorting out this problem, Pandas provide pivot underscore table function. Okay. This pivot underscore table function has been created keeping this in mind that the duplicate entries can be sorted out. Okay. Now let's see how it sorts it. Print r2.pivot underscore table. Only we have changed this particular thing, that pivot has been replaced by using pivot underscore table. Now pivot underscore table index is equals to class, columns is equals to section, values is equals to period. Now if you are going to print this, we are going to have a data like this. Okay. Now see, earlier for ninth A it was confused which values to be chosen. Now what it has done is it has created a value 23.0. Now let's think that how this 23.0 has come. Now as you are seeing in the table, for ninth A we were having three periods, that is period 20 and 25 and 24. Now if we go and take the average of these three periods, we can see the total sum will be 20 plus 25 plus 24, that means 69. Okay, and this 69 is to be divided by 3, we are going to get 23. Okay, so what it has done is it has taken out the average of those three periods which was given according to the table. Okay, and similarly if there was a repetition somewhere else also, it has taken the particular duplicate entries and it has taken out the average and it has provided you the value, and wherever the classes were not given, it has taken as NaN, that is not a number. So it has sorted out this problem that if we are having the multiple entries, it is going to take both of those entries and going to take out the average of those entries and will provide you a particular value for that particular column or for particular row. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is that here we have not given any aggregate function. It has by default taken out the average of those values. Okay. Now, what if we don't want the average of the value? We want a particular maximum value, or if it is possible that we might want the min value or the median value. Okay. So, how to use it? Let's see. Again, the same set of data is given. Now, using aggregate function for duplicate entries. Here we have written print r2.pivot underscore table, index is equals to class, columns is equals to section, values is equals to period, and agg function is equals to max. Now everything is similar in this table. Now the output will be according to the max values of the period. So let's see the output. Now for ninth class in section A, we are having 25.0 as the entry. Now why it has happened? Because for the duplicate entries in the table, we have the periods as 20, 25 and 24, and out of 20, 25 and 24, 25 was the max value. So it has taken the 25.0 as the value here. You're getting it. Similarly, if there are multiple entries for another columns or another rows also, it has taken the maximum of them and it has given a particular value. Okay, as you can see, for class 10th C also there is a repetition in the values. 10th C is having 23 periods also, and 10th C is having 26 periods also. So out of them the maximum value is 26, so the output has been given according to that, and 10th C has been replaced with 26.0. Okay, we can use any agg function there. Let's see if we are going to use this agg function as sum here. You can see whole of the entries are same, only the agg function has been changed from max to sum. So what it will do, it will add up all the multiple entries. Okay, that means for class 9th it was 20, 25 and 24, so it will add all those three values and will provide you the sum of those periods. Okay, let's see the output here. You can see for class 9th A the answer is 69.0. How it is 69.0? Because the first one was 20, second one was 25 and the third one was 24 in the period column. So it has added those three entries, and 20 plus 25 plus 24 equates to 69, and it has replaced that value with the 69.0. Similarly, if any other multiple data entries are there, it has taken the sum of the periods and provided you the result. Okay, I think it's clear till now. Let's move further. Now let's talk about sorting. Okay. Now what basically sorting is, as you had already studied also about sorting, the sorting means to arrange the data in a particular order. Okay, it may be the ascending order, it may be descending order, it may be according to the numbers, it may be according to the variables or the characters. Okay, it can be in the order of 1 to 100, or it can be the order of 100 to 1, or it can be in the order of A to Z or Z to A. Okay, anything which is related to the ordering comes under this sorting. So sorting refers to arranging values in a particular order. The values can be stored on the basis of specific columns in ascending or descending order by the use of sort underscore values function. So for using this sorting method in our data frame or in the pandas, we need to use this function sort underscore values. Now let's see how this sort underscore values function work here. Suppose we are given this data frame R2, okay, as we were having earlier, that table only, that data frame we have converted from that table only. See, here the entries are given with the teachers as Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet, and it has been certainly repeated accordingly. And the periods is given, and the associated classes are there, and the section is there. Now, if we have to sort it according to a particular column or the rows, let's see how we can do it. See, if we are going to write the code as following, r2 dot sort underscore values teacher. Okay, so what we are going to do here, we are going to sort this data frame according to the teachers. Okay, so in the teachers, the name is Rajesh, Jay, Ashish, Vineet. So accordingly, the sort has to be done according to the names of these teachers. Okay, so obviously A comes first, so the first entry will be Ashish, then next will be Jay, and then Rajesh, and then Vineet. Okay, now let's see. See, as you can uh, clearly see in the output here, that in the teachers, first all the entries of Ashish has been provided, then all the entries of Jay has been provided, then all the entries for Rajesh has been provided, and then all the entries of Vineet has been provided. Okay, so it has sorted the name of that teacher because in the sorted column we have given the column name as teacher. Okay, also you can see the sorting has been done in the ascending order. Why is it so? Because the default indexing order is ascending only. So if you are not going to give any order, that is to in which order we are going to sort, it will by default sort in ascending order. Okay. Now suppose if we write the same data frame according to this code, print r2 dot sort underscore values by is equals to teacher comma section comma ascending is equals to false. Now see, here we are going to give two columns, okay, in the sort values, teacher and the section, and also we have written ascending is equals to false. Why ascending is equals to false? Because now if we have to do the ordering according to the descending order, we will create this ascending is equals to false. So when ascending is equals to false is mentioned, that means at that time we have to do the sorting according to the descending order. And also we have given two columns in the sort values, that is teacher and the section. So the sorting will be done according to the teacher first, and then among the teachers the sections will be sorted. Okay, let's see what will the output for this. See, here you can see the teacher has been sorted first and also in the descending order. Okay, see, teacher is Vineet. First all the entries of Vineet has been shown, then all the entries for Rajesh has been shown, then for Jay, and then for Ashish. Okay, and also the associated periods have been sorted accordingly, and the classes and the section has been changed. Now see, for Vineet, the sections have been sorted accordingly in the descending order. See, all the four entries of Vineet, in that four entries of Vineet, the section has been sorted again. See, first of all, the entries of D has been shown, then for B has been shown, and then for A. So that means we can sort multiple columns also. So the column which is given first will be sorted first, and according to that sorted columns, we have the second column to be sorted. So here we have given teacher as the first column. So first of all, the sorting has been done according to the teacher column, and then among that teachers, the sorting has been done for the section, and also the ascending is equals to false was given. That means the ordering of the sorting will be descending order. Okay, students. So I think that's enough for today. We'll meet in the next video lecture. Thank you.